And your pasta, no clue, far from the plan. Tottenham stranded in shadows, no man's land. Lost on the pitch, echoes in the night. Fans screaming loud, no end in sight. Shift the blame like drifting sand. Promises empty, no steady hand. Wandering clueless in the football nest. Wishing for a twist, but nightmares persist. Shift the blame like drifting sand. Promises empty, no steady hand. Wandering clueless in the football nest. Wishing for a twist, but nightmares persist. Where's the Leo who waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind. Speechless, impressed, they're at the ground. No solutions, nowhere to be found. Fast on the side, hearts turn to stone. Stadium echoes a lonesome drone. Whispers in the air, they speak of change. Up on the horizon feels so strange. Question marks in every wayward pass. And ghosts the future fading fast. Where's the Leo who waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind. Where's the Leo we waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Tottenham Away, the best place to be on a Tuesday night. That's right, we're on Tuesday tonight because yesterday we had the live game and the post-match show. Thanks for being here. As always, everyone, busting out the Nottingham Forest red tonight for all the haters out there. To be honest with you, I didn't even think about it. I was just wearing a red T-shirt today. But anyway, thanks for being here. Smash the like, hit the notification bell, subscribe, all the good stuff. Push buttons. There's always buttons. Just push them all. Except for unsubscribe, just push everything. Everyone in the chat, thanks as always for being here. We will go through your comments as always. If you've got any questions or topics you want us to cover, get your super chats in. Otherwise, it's showtime. So let's say hello to the guys. I think Dean might be joining us at some point, but we'll see how that goes. JP, how you doing, bro? Did you go to the game yesterday, by the way?
I did.
Harsh. that was proper harsh.
Cheers, Maz. Listen, not been around for ages, man. I wanted to see some football, so I thought, do you know what? I'll go for a 2-hour drive over there. Literally after that first goal, I was thinking, oh God. The second goal that was offside after, was it 10 minutes? I was thinking, right, I'm going to leave now. I've had this. I've had enough football for the day. It was weird. The atmosphere was really kind of
crap.
Almost. It was actually non-existent. You know, it was like really somber and quiet, and it was a bit weird. it's almost like you knew it was a dead rubber. Everyone knew it was a dead rubber. Just playing out time, really.
JP, for our audience, what's a dead rubber?
Hmm?
What's a dead rubber?
It's just like a nothing game, right?
Oh, right. Okay. But why is that? Why rubber specifically?
Well, it's
Why
like
dead?
I think it's a tennis reference.
Oh, right. It's a tennis reference. Okay.
See,
Sorry,
how uncultured Maz is. He knows one sport and that's it, football, and he knows nothing else. How are you doing, Maz? Did you enjoy yesterday's dead rubber?
Dead rubber. Yesterday's dead rubber was. No, I didn't enjoy it actually. I think I got more frustrated with one specific player than the actual loss itself. Oh. I think Dean's going to make us a cup of tea.
Does Dean know he's on a YouTube show?
I don't know. It's going to make us a coffee or tea.
When I said just push buttons, everyone, do you reckon he just pushed some buttons and he just went?
I just muted it because the kettle noise would disturb you, won't it?
No, Dean, we appreciate it. Thanks for thinking about us. We appreciate it. You go make your comeback. You know,
no, it's fine. It's fine. I started early this morning and I'm kind of a bit tired, and so I've been laying in bed. I've got to pick her up in about 40 minutes, so I've got a bit of time. That's why I messaged you, because I wanted to discuss something with you that let's just say that I was chatting to somebody yesterday.
I'll tell you what. Do you know what? Forget all the hellos and that, because we know everyone's okay, right? Let's go with you, Dean. I'm not even going to mention a topic. What is it you want to talk about? You're in control, Dean. You're in control. Off he goes again.
Yesterday, two of us didn't go because of certain reasons. Only two of us went. I drove. The fucking seats that were empty around me was unbelievable. And obviously the first goal went in. I thought, oh Christ, here we go. And then another one went in. I mean, Vicario was the second. He was the fault of the second goal anyway. You know, but you knew what was going to happen with Wood, didn't you? They were going to just put the ball in the air, and he's going to hit the ball. And we can't cope with people like him. But going back to what I was going to talk about, me and my mate, we was both season ticket holders. He's a concession holder, by the way. He's 70, and we sort of went to the back of the south stand to have a look what was going on with all the new buildings and all the rest of it. And there was two guys that were standing at the back as well. I went, oh, look, it's starting to build fucking Levy land, blah, blah, blah. And the bloke turned around, looked at me and sort of smirked. And I said, fucking slag, took our concessions away and all this sort of nonsense. He said, I can't see a problem with it. So I said, are you a concession holder? So he said, yeah. I said, are you serious? So you think it's okay for him to pay himself over £3 million bonus and take the concessions away and now make it 67 and not 65? I said, do you think that's okay, do you? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, you can imagine my reaction. It wasn't very good. I said, the man has fucking taken the piss out of us. I said, we've had to watch this drivel all season. I said, the bloke needs to go. So he said, well, who are you going to get? I said, well, that's down to Levy, isn't it? So I said, but he needs to go as well. And he said, no, I think he's done a great job. So his mate was next door, who was an Italian, who was a Lazio supporter. And they're doing the same there. They're taking the concessions away. So it's not like an English thing. And I said to him, I said, there's one difference. I said, you got ultras who hold the manager and hold the team to book if there's if they don't think they're doing what they should be. I said, we don't have that. I said, it's a damn bloody shame we don't have it. Anyway, this guy, his mate who was English, he was adamant. Levy's done a fantastic job, what he's done with the club, and all the rest of it. I mean, you're fucking joking. I said I've been at the protest 2 weeks ago, with all the other guys marching down. He sort of smirked about it and all the fucking rest of it. I had to fucking get away from him, because if I didn't, there was going to be, I don't like to say it really anyway, but I was going to get fucking angry with him and all the fucking rest of it. And I thought, this man's been going, he's been going to Spurs, he said, since 1963. He must have been a kid. And I'm thinking to myself, and I said to his mate, this is the problem. Fans like that are the problem, because you can't get them all to get us all together, and that's the problem. I had to get away from him, and then obviously I left at half time with my mate. I said, I'm going home. I said, I've had enough. I said, I'm not coming back here to watch the league game. I said, I'm done with that. I said, I'll come and watch the Europa game. I said, but I'm not doing the last 2 league home games. I'm not doing it. I said, I'll certainly go to fucking work. So I don't even know why I bothered going yesterday.
Dean, do you know what? I feel sorry for fans like yourself that were here when we went down, here when the times were good, here during the scholar years, here during Sugar. Now that, because you've stuck by the club for so many years, but unfortunately, the reality is, and I'll say it for the 100th time maybe, our problem is our fan base. There's too many that have been brainwashed. There's too many that think this is okay. There's too many that think the ownership is doing a great job, that not winning trophies is acceptable, and that losing is just part of the process, and just take it on the chin and pay your money. Us here and the people that watch this channel, we are actually the minority. And you can tell because it comes to a protest, and what, 2-3% of the stadium want to protest. So the reality is, big up James, the reality is how you feel, you are in the minority. I've felt like that for about 6 years. It's getting better. Yeah. There's more fans waking up to it, but we're still way off of it. I think we're still way off of what we need as a fan base, but we're trying. Change for Tottenham.
I don't think this season, because obviously so many losses, and he's pig-headed and won't change his ways of his playing, although he did against Man City and he did against Frankfurt. And for the life of me, I don't understand why he doesn't change like in-game management and all the rest of it, like a lot of other managers do. But I've just become disillusioned, totally disillusioned by him. And obviously legally anyway. I mean, I'm always calling him out. I mean, I don't sit very far away from Phil P. So, I mean, he gets bloody angry as well, doesn't he? But he was there yesterday as well. But there was so many empty seats, man. I can't tell you. The guy behind me who comes from Romford, he's in his 30s, Todd. He come up, the first goal went in. He just left. He said, I'm done with it. I ain't coming. I'm going home. He said, I don't know why I bothered.
Well, hopefully
to get that state with the club and with the manager and what's going on, and you think, Jesus Christ, you know, all the money that we spend. I mean, my season ticket is what, 1,050 or something like that. Mine's one of the cheaper ones, isn't it? As it is, I struggle to pay it. I do struggle to pay it. I mean, lucky next year, I've got my old age pension come from the government, which will bolster my earnings quite significantly, and I should be okay. But I was hoping to get my concession next year because I'm 65, but that's gone out the window, of course. So I've become very disillusioned. Not with the you know, the actual club itself, but with the people that run it and the way things have gone this year. I've become very angry and in the stadium, and you know, concentrating my anger out on Levy most of the time, and start to shout at Ange and stuff like that, because he just stands on the side and does nothing. He instills no passion. You know what Conte was like, and you know, a lot of people didn't like Conte, but I loved him. He had so much passion for the game, you know, and it's just gone. And I go back to the great Keith Birkinshaw, and he's always been my favourite manager because obviously when I was young, we won things with him, and that's when I was when I was thought he was a proper football club, Glenn Hoddle and such like. Lubo, I remember all those guys. You know,
Maybe, just maybe, okay, if more and more fans don't turn up and more empty seats appear, the board will be forced into doing something because they're going to take a revenue hit. If there's
I
empty
didn't
seats,
think
that
there
means
was so many
there's
Koreans there yesterday. That's for sure. There weren't so many tourists there yesterday because we was talking about it. He goes, "Where's your tourists now, Levy? Look at all these empty seats."
Yeah, it was the first league game under 60,000. Good evening, all. This
Good
season,
evening, Levy.
I think just coming in off the back of your story. My pal that I travel with, he was coming up to senior discount age. He's been a season ticket holder 50 years.
Wow.
Was told that he wasn't going to get. Oh no, he put in for a discount season ticket behind the goal in the Paxton Road, and was told there wasn't one available. Couldn't get hold of them. His son tried to get hold of the club. Weeks and weeks and weeks went by. I phoned the club to try and get hold of Ian Murphy, the season ticket manager. He didn't even bother ringing back. And in the end, my pal's son went on social media, and it took being shamed on Twitter before the club got back to him. And they said he couldn't have one last season, but he could have one this season. And then you've got.
I phoned them, Lubo.
Sorry,
Like you, I phoned the ticket office.
Yeah.
Managed to get through, and he was a guy on the other end, and he said there's going to be very few concessions handed out this year. You'll find out whether you'll be eligible for one or not. And then I found out through the grapevine that you had to be 67. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So that's me down in Swanee for another couple of years before I could even think about it.
So the age you get your pension from the government is 66. But Tottenham have taken out.
Yes, but it's now 67 for some people, isn't it?
No, I think it's still 66, isn't it?
No, it's not. I'm 66. I get mine at 66 next January, but some people are 67 at this present time, which is its highest level that there is. That's where they took it to.
Not that I know of. But anyway, listen, 66, 67 in 2028, Mark's saying. That makes sense. But, listen, they do nothing for the fans, do they?
No.
In fact, to me, I don't understand. I don't understand why they hate the fans so much. This is such a loyal fan base. Seriously, every single away game is sold out. Wherever it is, the club sell out. And, however bad it is, the fans still come. And I don't know, that it's the worst ownership we could ever have. You cannot get worse.
You can't get an away ticket, Lubo, for love or bloody money if you haven't got enough points. I mean, my best mate who I've known for 40 odd years, he was 18 and I was 20 when we first started going. And he's built his points up through going in the cup scheme, irrespective of whether he went to the game or not. And he's been to quite a few abroad games. I mean, he's been to like Milan, he's been to Barcelona, he's been to Germany. He went to Eintracht Frankfurt last week, him and his son. I mean, I'm not as fortunate as him. I can't do it. But, to get an away ticket, you might as well not bother. It's a joke. Even if you wanted to go, you can't go unless somebody's flogging it. If someone's got 500 points and they don't want to go, you buy their ticket and they still keep getting the points. There's no rhyme or reason. You're never going to get enough points that way.
Well, I think what they're doing, I think they're going digital for away tickets. Next season.
What does that mean?
So people that can't go won't be able to get for their friends.
Right. Okay.
So it's going to.
So if I've got an away ticket and I can't go, what do I do with my ticket then?
Goes back to the club.
Of course it does.
What's it?
So like you can't give it to a mate, basically.
So,
Do you know what?
so
Do you know what that's going to do? That's going to kill the away fan atmosphere.
no, what it means still is that if for argument's sake, I mean West Ham have just come through today, and it's 344 is the cut-off point, 344 and over. So if I couldn't go, I'd have to give it back to the club if it's Digi, and someone who's on 343 will be the next in line, and they'll get a call. Do you want the ticket?
Yeah. I mean, I've not been. The only away game I went to was the League Cup game that we had with Fulham last year when we turned out a 2-bob side and lost. And I tried to get. I asked for another ticket to go to the league game this year. Thank God I couldn't get one because we bloody got beat. But still, I wanted to go.
We get beat every week, Dean. We get beat every week.
It's not that still. I mean, I drive a bus for a living, right? I changed my career right at the last because I lost my job last year, and I thought I got to do something. So I got my PSV, and I drive for first buses in Chelmsford, right? We can imagine it's 200 busmen on different shifts. Oh, mate, we're like the butt of the jokes, mate. I tell you, we're the butt of the jokes. It's unbelievable. And you're crap, you're shit. I go, I know we are. You can't not agree with it, can you?
Tell me what I don't know.
You can say, isn't it? Yep.
Tell me what I don't know.
I mean,
Still,
I hate to admit it. It normally makes me really angry, and I argue the toss of anybody, you know, because what's been instilled to me over the years on the terraces at Spurs, you know, on the shelf and stuff. But you can't argue with it, can you? You know, I mean, the amount of goals.
My Arsenal friends and my Chelsea friends don't take the piss out of me. They just they genuinely say, "I feel so bad for you." They actually are being empathetic towards me. Do you know what I feel like? I feel like a kid who's had his pocket money stolen, and the kids in the older year are trying to look out for me. Are you all right? Can we, can anything we can do to help? Honestly, that's what it's so sad. It's so
I've got to
sad.
tell you, still, you look at the comments. Joe B's comment. If you can you just bring it back? There we go.
I can't see it. Right.
There you go. No, there was one that they had that I think further up.
Lost 400 points.
400 point, lost 400 point. This is everything that's wrong.
Oh.
This is everything that's wrong with the club and how they treat the fans. It's just appalling. My pal Louis lost.
Joke, isn't it? That is such a joke. That's just a pure rip-off.
Do you know what? My pal Louis went corporate when the ground opened for 3 years, and all the points he had on his season ticket he lost.
Why?
You're spending $5,000 or $3 or $4,000, whatever it was, on a ticket per year, guaranteed for 3 years, and you can't even keep your loyalty points. From the West Stand upper. I think that's just appalling, and this is how they treat the fans. It's just abysmal. It really is.
I don't like the client record.
And for Joe, thanks for highlighting it on here, Joe. This is what's going on. It's just dreadful. It's just dreadful.
I mean,
everybody should be that the whole club, with the players and the fans, should be as one. There should, like it was when Poch was there, but that was between Poch, the players, and the fans. But we've never had that with this lot. They just don't care. They just couldn't give a damn about fans.
Like I was explaining earlier about this guy on the stadium, Misty. He wasn't a young kid. He had a concession, and he thought Levy done a great job, and he don't think there's a problem with people not getting a concession or losing money off a concession.
What's he done for him? Next time you see him and he says that, just say,
I love Dean. Stands up, steps back. You roll up a little wacky, a little tobacco.
Yeah, very right. Yeah.
Dean, it's great. It's like a proper. It's like a real pub chat. It's good.
Man.
Yeah, say to the guy, Stixie, what's he done for you? Tell me, what exactly has he done for you? You got one trophy in 25 years. We've fallen behind the other 5 big clubs. whose fans are having one great season after another after another. One of them is each year. And what has this ownership done for the fans in 24 years, 20 years, 25?
That's what I don't
Yeah, and
understand.
we should be
Ian.
celebrating we're only 4% down, mate. You know what I mean? Should
No,
celebrate.
actually, the operating profits, Maz, was 4% up.
No,
He-
that's not what
he
that's
did-
not what my
he did-
accountant told me. We should celebrate with 4% down.
Yeah.
See, actually, this BSC, I think I heard the other day that from next year, you have to have a membership. Otherwise, you can't just give your ticket away to a pal.
Correct. That's correct,
They
Jake.
have to have a membership,
That's
which
correct.
means you've got to buy, I don't know, whatever it is, 30, 40, 50 quid. or
By the
whatever.
way, big up to BSC Radio for the super chat. He says you can still transfer the ticket to a mate's email address and they can download it. It's still possible to pass tickets on to a mate. Thankfully,
It is this season, but not
But
next
it's
season.
changing. It's changing from next season.
It's changing for next season, correct.
can they stop you from taking a screenshot of the barcode and just
I don't
WhatsApping the barcode? Because that's what I do.
Well, I'm going to say something now that the guys I go with, the guy who moved from London up to Lincolnshire, he had a friend that come down from where do they make the famous pies, pork pies? Someplace in Leicestershire. He came down and he got a ticket screenshotted. There was a concession ticket, but it was a junior ticket.
Yeah,
But he got in. I don't know how. Because
they don't the ticket scan
The
barcode. It
isn't
doesn't look at you as the person.
Yeah, it was a screenshot. It wasn't a one that had been sent to him on an email or anything like
Yeah.
that. It was
Yeah, that's
screenshot.
right. That's what I was just saying. You can I screenshot my barcode and I just send it to friends that aren't Spurs members, and they can get in that way.
Right, okay. But going back to what Lubo was talking about, this guy.
Just so you know, pork pies are made in Melton, Mowbray.
That's where he
Cheers,
comes
Wayne.
from. Yeah, that's where he comes from. So, anyway.
There you go, educational
so he
platform that we are.
Thank God he got in.
Big up, Wayne.
But nobody doubts that we haven't spent money. But I said to the guy, but it hasn't been on the right players, has it? I said, we never seem to go for that A+ player where he's going to make a difference. We've always got to go for a B+ player or something like that, And the Lazio guy, he quite agreed with that. He agreed with that. He don't think it's right that they're taking concessions away, and they're even doing it in his club in Italy. So it sounds like it's a thing that's going across all different bloody leagues across Europe to me. I don't know. It's just very sad, really. It just means you're trying to push out older fans who've been going a long time and who've now got to think, well, I can't afford to go anymore. I just have to sit at home and watch it on the telly. As and when I can, I'll go to the pub.
I know it doesn't make sense. If you're running a business, you want everybody within that business to be aligned. Everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet. I just don't understand why they hate us so much. They should embrace the fans, JP.
Because the fans allow it.
Literally pounds on seat. That's literally how he sees it now, I think.
He's always seen us this way.
Yeah, but fans allow it. The fan base allow it. This is the issue. He will do what he knows he can get away with. And if he knows the fans are going to accept it, he'll keep doing it. Because most fans do accept it. Us six and people watching, but we as a club, we've got the club we deserve. This is what we deserve because we accept it. There should have been absolute outcry when Poch got sacked. There should have been mass scale protests when Mourinho got sacked before a cup final. All hell should have reigned this season. We've lost 18 games. And fans still go to the games. They still back it out. It's like, what? Well, if you're Levy, you look at it, you think, yeah, we've lost another game, but you know what? They're all here. They're paying. It's all right. And that's how he does look at it. That's exactly how he sees it.
They should be protesting. They should be there, but protesting.
But they don't. They don't.
That's what they should be doing inside the ground and outside.
we've never really challenged for the league much, have we? Not since I've been going, anyway. It's always.
Poch did.
I mean, obviously,
Poch did. Redknapp did for almost did.
Yeah. And maybe Pleat at one time when he done really well one season before he had his scandal and all the rest of it.
Pleat, I remember that one.
We had
We should have won the league in '85, but we cocked it up.
85, yeah, we had 7 home games out the last 10, but we had a most horrendous.
Something funny. Lubo's not remembered it. Maybe JP, I don't know. I always remember the derby between us and Arsenal that year, I think. And that was days gone by when you could have a lot of fans, away fans in the ground. And he had a scandal, didn't he, if you remember? And the Arsenal fans bought a blow-up doll in, and they were throwing it around the crowd. It was absolutely hilarious. That sort of sense of humour has gone out as well, to be fair. I don't know whether you remember the scandal, but
I do.
I'm not going to say it, but there was a scandal over it.
I remember a couple of seasons ago we had blow-up cats or dogs because one of the Chelsea players kicked a cat on a TikTok video or something, and we had some blow up. That's it.
West Ham, wasn't it? It was the West Ham boy.
West Ham, and people got offended by that. They were offended that we were throwing animals in the air, even though they're inflatable. So if we had a doll today, I reckon we might get arrested. So we will break some kind of law if we had a blow up doll because the cats weren't accepted. Listen, let's get into yesterday's game because we've got plenty to talk about. And I want to get into the Europa as well and a bit of Ange and some players. And anyway, so Porro made his 100th appearance yesterday for the club. Unfortunately, we lost. Starting team was pretty strong. Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Spence. Some say that's the best back 5 we've got. Saar, Bentancur and Kulu in midfield. No Maddison. And Odebert, Richarlison and Tell up front. Son's still injured. Mikey Moore ostracised. Bergvall given a rest. And Solanke on the bench as well. Archie Gray clearly isn't going to get a look in whilst everyone is fit. We lost 2-0. We had more possession. We had more shots. We had more shots on target. We had more passes, more clear-cut chances. But so many shots off target. It was unbelievable. And Forest were just more clinical than us. If you look at the XG, it was pretty level, and then we just completely blew Forest out of the water, but we just couldn't put it in the back of the net. So the questions have to be asked about the quality of our front three, something that James Flower loves to talk about, the Spurs front three. He calls them championship. And fair play, we did say it months ago. Ange was interviewed after the game, and he was told, unlucky Ange, tough place to go, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Boom, boom. Maddison not playing. Well, as much as people might want to shit on Maddison, he is the 4th highest player in the Premier League for creating goal actions. So we can say he goes missing, we can say this and that about him, but only Salah, Saka and Damsgaard are above him. And he didn't play yesterday, so we definitely missed that creativity because Kulu had a stinker. We've now lost 18 games. Unbelievable. I'm not going to read them all out because it's a joke. And if you compare Conte, where he had us in the league, compared to Ange, you can see Conte kind of kept us in that top 3 to 7. And after his first 10 games has consistently kept us between 5th to 17th. And if you just look at Ange alone, we have declined and we continue to decline.
Yeah, that's like a bear. That's like a bear.
So how accurate is that last graph? Not the Ange one, the other one. Well, so,
yeah, it's pretty.
But well, when he left us, we were 4th. So how can we be 6th?
I believe. Yeah, you're right. I think it's factored in 2 games.
Stellini and Mason, I bet you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you're right.
Then, isn't it?
The last 2 are wrong. But everything else is pretty correct. Carragher was interviewed on the game. He said, Ange consistently talks about the same problems in every interview. Sounds like us. Same problem every show. But it's his job to fix them. It would worry me if I'm a Spurs fan. The manager says the team are playing well, and he did. And look, guys, I'm not going to go through all this, but there's shitloads and shitloads of most defeats in all competitions, first team to concede, how many times been 1-0 down, biggest winless run, most number of games straight without a win, the most number of shots faced, highest number of losses, goes on and on and on. He has broken every bad record in the book. It is quite frankly horrendous. But I think the most startling one is this. He has lost more games this season than Poch did in his last 3 years. Pochettino in 3 seasons lost less games than Ange has done. And this season's not over. This is going to go into the 20s. So look, guys, it is grim. And we can talk about how many shots we had and how we did have the better chances. And look, I'll go to James first because he hasn't been on in ages. James, we are literally, and it's the name of the show. We are Europa Cup or bust because it is horrendous. What's your take on it? And you know, feel free to talk about the amazing front three of Spurs.
You go, mate.
So for me personally, I actually think if we're judging Ange's standards, I thought yesterday was a brilliant game in comparison to what we've seen all season. That's still well below par, but it's probably the best game I've seen Ange play in 6 months, to be honest. But yeah, the title says it all. It is Europe or bust. There is so much on it. The only thing I can say about the whole Europe thing is I think that Ange is fighting for himself, not for the club when it comes to Europe, and therefore he's going to be actually trying to win Europe rather than the Premier League. I feel like he couldn't care.
Do you think that it doesn't really matter about the league? Who cares if we lose? And fans shouldn't be bothered because the league is done. We can't get relegated. We can't get Europe. The best we'll get is mid-table if we're lucky. Who cares? Is that how you feel as well? Because I think a lot of fans have checked out the league.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I said on Sava's show yesterday, he was telling me that we need to play our strongest team for the 2 games before the cup game. Because he wants to build momentum and stuff. And I said, look, there's not going to be no momentum being built when you're losing the next 2 games. 2 losses for a semi-final, for me, doesn't build anything. It just breeds more negativity, more booing, more toxicity. So for me, what I would have done is I would have sent them off with a fitness coach to Dubai or somewhere and then just got them fit, got them up to speed as best as possible, and then brought them back for Europa League, because everything that this guy does, is a negative. There's no positive coming out of anything. So there is no right or wrong outcome. It's just all negative for me. If he's taking off Van der Ven and Romero off at half time, then there's seriously some kind of concern on his behalf that they're not fit. So what, are they playing with slight knocks? Are they not up to speed? So there's a chance of knocks. He said Odegaard and Kulu again. Is their chances if they can only play 60 minutes and they're not fully fit? So I won't be risking it for me.
James, did you not think Romero was heading towards a red card?
I said it because one of the things Sava said to me was, if you ask any player, they want to play every game. I said I disagree. These Tottenham players look like they don't want to be out on the pitch this season. Every week they know they're going to lose, so they don't want to be playing there. For me, Romero, I actually rate Romero. But I think he was trying his best to get sent off so he didn't have to play the Liverpool game. He was just lunging, time after time again. I don't know how he didn't get sent off.
I think that's the thing, you know, like even now, there is a sense, right, around the whole fan base and everyone that, do you know what, sod the league. That feeling's there. The worst thing is that feeling's there with the players. They almost don't care about the league anymore. They're almost walking out on that pitch, not really bothered. And they're almost gearing themselves up for this semi-final, which is let's all put our eggs in the Europa basket. And that's shameful, the fact that players are like that.
What is concerning is that attitude seems to permeate through the club. And it doesn't matter who the manager is or the group of players, because we've got to remember that a majority of this team is Postecoglou's chosen team for the last 2 years. Fine, some of those players were signed under Paratici and when some of them were under Conte, albeit Udogie didn't
A
arrive.
couple, yeah.
Yeah, right, and Kulusevski and Bentancur. But the fact that all of the players have that attitude, and it's near enough. I mean, 70% of them are his players, near enough, or 60% or whatever, and they're not even playing for him. His own players that he's brought in are not playing for him. It's shocking, really.
Yeah, the only thing I would kind of say to that is, I felt like Jose and Conte tried to change the mentality. Conte continuously called out of the players. He continuously said, "You can blame me all you want. We'll change another manager. But what about the players? Blah 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 blah." For me personally, and just continuously made excuse after excuse to back the players into a poor performance. I mean,
So
we played, like he said, we were. What did he? Is amazing or outstanding? We played outstanding or amazing. Well, if that's amazing or outstanding or whatever the words he's chose to use, and he's used it a lot lately, then you're just giving alibis to players that it's okay to go and lose 2-1 to Norwich, to Forest.
I've spoken about this for the last 3-4 years, whereby the way that Daniel Levy runs the club, whilst he puts people in positions of authority and responsibility, he never truly backs them, and by not backing them, he undermines them from the get-go. So where you have a scenario where Jose and Conte effectively dug out the players, that's when Jose and Conte look to the ball to say, look, you've got to back me 100% and clear out who I need to clear out. Because if I'm not allowed to do that, then the players have got the power. And that's one thing that Levy, when Pochettino first came, granted him, certainly in the first season, where Pochettino just got rid of all of the players that he didn't like the mentality of straight away, and he gave him the power, right? And he wasn't undermined. Whereas when Jose came in, when Conte came in, when Nuno came in, the players had all the power because Levy wouldn't back the managers properly. And that's a major problem. It always goes back to Levy, right? And you're never going to fix that problem, which is why Conte said you can change your manager. Believe me, nothing will change. He's alluding to these micro issues and really macro issues of the club. Because that's when Tottenham, and Stella and I always bang about this, right? And that is that was like the crescendo, that point, right, where the Daniel Levy could have said, Conte's my manager, right? He's given us some home truths, but we back our manager. We will do whatever it takes to turn this around. He could have said that. And that would have changed that whole meaning of that rant around. It would have made Levy look good. Because Levy was like, yeah, I want better. But he didn't. He sacked him. Right? He did what everyone thought he was going to do. He sacked him. Right? But now we've got Postecoglou. That is the worst manager we've ever seen at Spurs. And we're literally one step away from relegation. You know, if those teams weren't, we all know this, so I'm not, hope it's not a sucky eggs moment. But if those three teams, weren't doing as bad as they are, we would get relegated 100% under him.
And two of them have been us recently, Maz.
Yeah, and woeful recruitment, absolutely woeful recruitment. I mean, Stel loves telling this story. It's his favourite story. I went on We Are Tottenham TV and I told them about Werner, right? Well, Stel, look at Tell. He's bloody worse than Werner. Just when you thought you couldn't get a shitter player, you get fucking Telling, who can't beat his man, right? And all he does is cuts inside and squares it to the his left or right, which is what Werner does constantly anyway.
To be fair,
I almost crashed my car yesterday driving back home, and I was listening to the show, and I heard you guys say something about, do you know what? Werner's actually better.
Yeah, I do. I believe it. I'm being serious. I actually think he's better because Werner's got pace. He's faster than Tell, and he can beat a man when he wants to beat a man, right? And he does all the same stupid shit that everyone else does in the team, like smash it at people's kneecaps and hit the ball 400 yards wide. But at least Werner can beat a man. Whereas Tell is one of those players. I think he's the worst type of player. It's when he looks like he's going to do something, but nothing happens. And every time he did take on someone, there was one time where he beat a couple of players, and it wasn't because he'd done skill, it's because the ball ricocheted between the players and it hit him and he went through, and he was like, oh, you know, and everyone was like almost jeering, thinking, oh my God, go on, son, you know, and it wasn't even his fault. Same with his goal that he scored last week. He didn't even know the ball was coming to him and it ricocheted in.
Can I ask you guys a question about Tell? Okay. On the club website, this is what it says. I'm going to read it out to you. Our vision: to be one of the world's leading football clubs, renowned for a strong association with its community and a long tradition of developing young talent that plays football the Tottenham Hotspur way. I just want to repeat that last bit. This is the vision. Developing young talent that plays football the Tottenham Hotspur way. Now, on that basis of the vision that they've put on their website to tell the world, is Matthias Tell now blocking the way of developing our young talent?
100%.
Is Tell cock blocking Mikey Moore?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So this vision,
and
this
everyone
vision is a nonsense.
In fairness,
wrote that drop?
Timo Werner was doing that before.
And Timo,
It's not
And
just young
Timo, yeah.
people it's not just young people that are coming in to block our youngsters. They're paying people to be the third highest wage earner at the club to block our youngsters.
because this year, not one academy player has been given a proper crack at it. They've been given a little taste. They've dangled a carrot in front of them. But when it's come down to it, we have signed players that has blocked us developing young talent to play the Tottenham Hotspur way. The club vision doesn't make sense because we're not seeing it.
Who wrote it?
Donna Cullen.
Can I add something about Tell, though? Can I add something about Tell?
That woman will run a fucking bath.
With Tell, the only thing I would say about Tell is it's actually nice to see somebody actually try. I know that it should be bare minimum, but I've watched Heung-min Son all season stand there with his hands on his hips like he's copying Ange, and Brennan Johnson does exactly the same as that as well. So the fact that Odegaard and Tell was there, not saying that they did anything amazing, but at least they kind of tried to beat their man. They tried to make those runs in behind. They tried to get their
how low are you setting the bar?
No, I know.
But James, don't you think having like where Tell was trying, in fact, Mikey Moore probably did more while he was.
No, again, this is one thing I say. Other than 20 minutes against probably one of the worst teams I've seen all season, I have seen absolutely nothing from Mikey Moore to say that he deserves any chance at all.
Hey, James.
Any less chance.
James, what about Elfsborg?
That's what I said. 20 minutes against Elfsborg, and that's it.
No, you're talking about Alkmaar in October when Moore came on and ripped the geezer's
was Elfsborg the one that was like 4-0 up and then he scored his last goal like he had like 30-second cameo at the end and scored
We
a
were
goal.
2-0 up and he scored the third goal.
Yeah, that game was done and dusted. He didn't take that game by the scruff of the neck for me to go, you know what, yeah, this guy deserves a start. Personally...
But James, I think you're coming at it from the wrong way. We're trying to develop the young man, right? Tell's been brought in to change the fortunes of Tottenham Hotspur because he's Ange's boy. And Ange rang him up and said, come on, son, come in my team, mate. Right? You're going to propel me. You're going to fix my Tottenham Hotspur forward front line.
Yeah, but I'm judging him. I'm judging him by play. I'm not judging by what Ange has brought in or what Ange is doing. I'm just judging by what I've seen.
You're developing. The other player you're hoping is near enough there.
Well, we are as our fans, because of the sort of amount of money he's been thrown around as 60 million. Yes, we are expecting that. But let's be honest, they've also spent 40 million on Archie Gray, who doesn't get a look in. So
Archie Gray's
is he
much
meant to
better
come
than
in and
Patel.
be the CDM that we want him, or is he going to be developed? I think
But
these kids are
Archie
coming in.
Gray's proven himself over the last 20 odd games he's played. I would say, right, that Archie Gray has proven himself worthy of being at least at Spurs and at least being coming on a sub, right? The young boy, right? I'm not saying I'm against us spending 40 million on him, which I've said many times, but he's proven himself. And I think Michael Moore hasn't even been given the opportunity to properly prove himself.
Yeah, I'll be back in a while.
My question was about the vision, because on the club website, if you don't support Spurs and you wanted to do some research or you wanted to find out about Spurs, if you're, I don't know, you're Bilbao and you're looking at a potential final, who are we going to play Spurs? I've heard of them, but let me go on the website, and the vision is they develop young talent to play the Hotspur way.
The vision doesn't actually say anything about winning, does it?
No. It was about, I just thought, well, you got Lancashire, you got Scarlett. And by the way, Scarlett's filled out. He's got his physicality now. He doesn't get a look in. Lancashire's been sent out on loan. And you've got Richarlison and Solanke stinking out the place. Donnelly's doing quite well at Leyton Orient. Dorrington, he's out on loan. You just, Alfie Devine. I don't even know what is happening with him. He was going to be the next Gaza. And now Mikey Moore, the brightest prospect, he's been completely ostracized. I don't understand the vision. I just think it's a lie. I think it's great PR to woo people into thinking that's a really good club that really thinks about developing within. It's absolute bollocks. It's absolute trash. Brandon Austin gets one game. We sign Kinski, right? Mug him off as well. Mug him off,
That was an absolute joke, that was.
Ashley Phillips. I know, let's sign a young lad, centre-half. Shit, all the centre-halves are injured. What should we do? Play Archie Gray there.
Still, I've got to make you laugh. You've taken abuse from your friend over in Australia for a while, haven't you?
LSD, Captain, the LSD Bushwhacker.
Yeah. So there's someone on Twitter called Angelo Post who's come on and he's come after all of us that are Angel.
Oh, another one.
So he's got a top 10 of mongrels. This is what he calls us.
Where am I? I just want to know where I'm in the list. Am I number one?
You're not even in it.
Ooh,
What?
that's a fake list.
You're not even in it.
I feel quite sad about that. Who's in the top 10?
I'll tell you who's in it.
Can we guess who's the top 3, Lubo? Tell us number 4 to number 10 in reverse order. So go from 10 to 4 and let us guess the top 3. Go on.
You won't get it because most of this is on Twitter.
Oh, right. So they're not YouTubers. They're Twitter accounts.
It's more Twitter. So you got Fran. Do you know Fran? You met Fran?
I've heard of Fran.
Fran is 10. Steve Singh is 9. Patrick Tyrant is 8.
Yeah, we know Patrick.
I only made 7. Number 7.
Yeah.
Glassy is 6. Billy Cairns is 5.
Yeah, we know Billy.
Brian Daigle's 4.
Brian Daigle's on the list. Well done, Brian. Well done, Brian.
Johnny Ham is 3. Crackers is 2.
You're number 1.
And Expressions is 1.
He's gone after Expressions. Unbelievable.
He's gone after Expressions. And then...
Can I say, I'm really
changed
off that no one from Tottenham away has featured on that list. I'm really fucking pissed off now.
We're not on Twitter, really, though, are we?
You're missing. Sava's missing. Ricky Sachs is missing. I mean,
Ricky's on Twitter.
I'm sure he'll come around to you. I mean, Johnny turned around and one of the guys, Rich, was like, "Hang on, how come I'm not on?" And Johnny said, "You're just jealous, Rich, because I'm a much bigger mongrel." I didn't get where I am annoying 3/4 of Australia. That was Johnny this afternoon.
Do you know
Still,
what?
mate, you're performing like Ange Postecoglou, mate. You need to step it up. Bottom of the league.
Brilliant, brilliant.
What do you mean? I played outstandingly well. I gave
No.
outstanding
You're
performance.
third from
you
bottom,
guys-
mate. You need to get onto that top 10.
You guys have got your YouTube insulters, and we've got our Twitter insulters now.
Do you know when Ange
Unbelievable,
eventually does leave? I can't wait for this cult to. What did Scott M call them? When we were saying, I remember a couple of months ago, we said if you could pick a manager to join, who do you want? And Scott M, he goes, I don't care who we get. I just want a manager that hasn't got special fans. Mourinho and his special fans that follow him, Ange and his special fans that follow him. I want a manager without special fans. Genius. We've got a super chat from Coys87. He says, guys, you've got to realise our squad are from relegation floaters to mid-table squad. Madison Johnson, Sar Solanke, Vicario Basuma, Richarlison Johnson and Matters giggling on the sideline. They're used to it. Coys87 also says, and Van der Ven, our squad is made up of non-winners. And a user says, Ange is a blagger, removed and brought in the Deadwood. Yeah, What do you make of the players laughing? Because there was a couple of incidents where players were laughing on the bench, and then there was the ball that it was a really good ball, and it was literally get anything, any touch on the ball, it goes in, and Sarr and Richard go each other's way. We missed. Basically, it was a wonderful opportunity to score. We missed it, and they both started laughing.
Okay.
They both started laughing. What do you make of that?
Do you think, right, that Jose Mourinho, Conte, right, would have allowed those players to laugh in that moment, or his staff sitting in that thing?
I think they would have embarrassed them in the post-match press conference. I think they would have made an issue of it and brought it up.
Exactly right. They're winning managers. They're the managers that not only they have an aura of experience and respect about them. They demand the respect as well because of their achievements, right? And Ange, he thinks that players are going to be impressed about how he coached in Australia and Japan, and they're not. They're Premier League footballers. They couldn't give a monkeys what he's done in Scotland or in Japan or in Australia. That's the reality of it, because this is the Premier League. There you go.
What do you guys make of it? Players laughing. Is it okay? Doesn't matter.
I must say, still, I agree with James. I thought the football was better. The first 20 minutes was shocking. Let's start there. They came out. They weren't fired up. They gave them so much space. Again, lapses in concentration. And you can't. No one's on the edge of the box for the shot that was deflected. There's no one around him. Second goal, Porro's failed to stop the cross. There's no doubling up like there was in Frankfurt. So you're forcing was it Alanga to roll the ball back rather than cross it. Romero's lost his man. Van der Ven's not sussed the danger, and Vicario's been beaten. Vicario's too slow coming out. So the four of them between them are to blame. So you're 2 down after 17 minutes. I think after that, I agree with James. I thought some of the football was good. I listened to Nuno on TalkSport talking about the first half, and he said we came in at half time, we might have been 2 up, but he said I wasn't happy. We gave the wingers far too much space down the wings and too many balls. We allowed too many crosses to come in, and you ended up with 6 on target, 4 blocked, 12 off target. Now Forest wouldn't have come out. Forest do sit back and allow teams the majority of the possession, but Nuno wouldn't have said to them before the game, go and allow them to have 22 shots. But you've got to have a team that are clinical if you're going to play that way. And the problem is in the Premier League, you go 2-0 down, it's very difficult to put it back.
But
we keep doing that, Ian.
It's the same old story, isn't it? We're losing.
But this is what Forest do. That's what Nottingham Forest do.
Lubo.
They've done that all season.
Hello.
And the game's gone in. The game's gone in the first 20
Hello.
minutes.
Hello. Oh, I am speaking. All right, sorry.
Everyone's silence. Maz must speak. Everyone's silence.
Yeah, everyone's silent, right?
Have the
Lubo.
Maz button.
I watched the game like you did, right? Although you were probably at the game, weren't you?
Yeah.
Right. And I've watched extended highlights of the game back, and I watched the short highlights.
Sorry, mate.
And he was laughing at me for going. He
Yeah,
watched it 3 times.
Because the performance was so bad, I needed to rewatch it like 3 times just to remind myself. But when we say there was really good, we did really good things in the game throughout the whole game, and the highlights, the extended highlights, and the normal highlights of the game, there was hardly any moves that were good from Spurs. Yes, we passed the ball. Yes, there was these odd situations where, as I mentioned earlier, Tell managed to beat a couple of players because of deflections of the ball. But what part, and the fact that we crossed the ball about 400 million times, but what part was actually good? Because there was nothing good in that game.
Well, I think it depends.
But
on
when here's a surprising thing: when Forest attacked, something happened. Now they had one clear cut chance, but they actually had quite a few good chances where they could have actually scored as well.
Yeah, but what my answer to that would be, I mean, going back to what I said to Stel like 2 years ago now, is that our front three is championship level, and it's just stayed the same. You say about they actually looked like they were going to score when they went forward. Well, Tell missed an absolute sitter where he blazed it high and wide. So that is, if that was Forest, you would have said that's a good chance. Richarlison missed a 1-on-1. That's a good chance. He missed an open.
No.
He missed an open.
No, James. Before we go down, I never said that we didn't have chances. What I said is, when you look at the game, all right, and how we played as a team, I can't remember how there wasn't anything good from us. We didn't like blow them away with our silky football, passing, creating triangles, passing through the lines, right, threading balls in. None of that happened. Nothing like that happened.
But I don't think anyone said that did happen, did they?
Yeah, but everyone's come on and said, well, not everyone. You came on, all right, and said, and Ian's agreed with you that you thought that performance was better than what we have seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was better than
What's
what we
better
said.
about it, though? What
Maz,
is better about it?
Hang on, Maz. What have we been watching? It's all relative, isn't it? We're not talking Pochettino level. We're nowhere near Pochettino
relative
level.
to Ange. I'm not talking relative to
No.
other people.
So Maz, this game that you watched. Wait, one second, Ian. The game that you watched yesterday 5 times wasn't better than Wolves.
Say that again. Sorry, James.
The game yesterday that we played against Forest, was that not better than what we played against Wolves?
Not really, to be honest with you. If I'm honest.
You see, that's where I disagree. I thought it was much better yesterday than what we was at Wolves.
Define what better. I guess we have different.
Can I see? This is difficult to answer because Wolves and Forest play differently.
Yeah.
Wolves are more attacking, and they scored 4 goals doing it, whereas Forest, they get their goal, 1 or 2, and then they just defend for their lives, and they've done that so many games this season. So it's difficult to judge, isn't it? Because if you just look at it as a one-off game, you'd say, "Oh, Spurs had a lot of attacking play, a lot of dominance, and we should have got something out of the game." We probably should have got something out of the game, but this is what Forest do. They've done this all season long. If you look at most of their games, they don't have most of the possession, and they defend. Like you know that unbelievable scissor kick clearance off the line that Forest did. There was an unbelievable. I've seen Forest do that on the line so many times this season. They literally throw themselves on the line to save the team. I've seen them do it all year long, stuff like that. That wasn't a one-off.
But to say that you saw good stuff from Forest but nothing off Tottenham, both of their goals were mistakes. Barring them goals that they actually did, what else did they do to warrant? Listen, I'm not saying that we're amazing and there was rubbish. I'm just saying it's better than what I've seen most of the season.
Mistakes
by the way, I don't think Forest were brilliant. I just think Forest did what Forest do, which is get a couple of goals.
When you say their first goal took a deflection, right? And it wrong-footed. Well, I say wrong-footed. You know, it bounced over Vicario, but I still think he should have saved that. And their second goal, Van der Ven and Vicario mistimed their header and catch.
Romero.
And the guy scored. So
it shouldn't have come
if we've
across
done that. We'll say it's a good header. Well done for beating 2-3 players. To
So
that.
it wasn't a mistake where Vicario flapped it, and it wasn't a mistake where Porro basically acted like a striker.
Vicario jumped like Superman and missed the ball by like 5 feet, right? Van der Ven decided that he was going to try and header the ball 5 minutes too late, and
That's
Romero
right.
was in the wrong position.
Guys, let me just tell you something, right? Just for context. I'm looking at the reverse fixture when we lost 1-0 at Nottingham Forest. Okay. Stats. Spurs 71%, Forest 29. Exactly the same. Shots. Spurs had 13, Forest had 10. Forest had 3 on target. We had 5 on target. We had 620 passes. They had 261. Passing accuracy for Spurs, almost 90%. Forest, 73%. Corners, because we had a lot more corners yesterday. Spurs, 7. Forest, 2. This is pretty much the same stats as Sunday's game. This is what Forest do. This is what Forest do.
Still, I watched that game back the other day.
Pictorial, sorry, in 2 seconds. Just bring up that pictorial that you had earlier, where you were showing the actual Forest game. Literally, after they scored their 2 goals, you had like a bar chart, like a
the XG, the XG.
Yeah. So after they scored their 2 goals, then that was it, right? That's just them defending from that point onwards.
Their XG hardly moved.
And then that's just them giving us the ball. Saying go for it. Try and break us down.
If you look back to the first game, Sells made 3 superb saves from Johnson, which won them the points.
Yeah. Do you know, I think for me, and I said this yesterday on the show, if Harry Kane was playing for Spurs, we'd probably win that game because we've got a proper clinical player up front.
Sure. Yeah.
But Ange wanted Solanke, Tell, Odebert. It's on him. These are his players. He doesn't want to play Mikey Moore. He wanted to, he kept Richarlison. He started Richarlison ahead of Solanke. He chose to play Kulu in this 10 instead of Maddison. So effectively, do you know what? I'm 50-50 with James on this because he's right. If we had a better front three, Spurs would be definitely higher up that table. There's no doubt because we create enough to be scoring more goals.
But that's like saying if we had better players, we would have won more.
If we had a better defense, we wouldn't have conceded as many.
Yeah, exactly.
Better manager, we would be further disabled.
I agree with you there, but our front three is championship level. It's not even like a mediocre; it's championship level.
I agree.
So with our midfielder and centre backs and keeper, you can say right mid-table or whatever you want to say. But our front three are literally. I think I would.
I knew we were in trouble.
How do you think that team would fare, James, in the championship?
I think
it'd probably be mid-table.
We'd melt.
What, the front three, yeah. I think Brennan Johnson, the whole team.
The whole team would melt because they've got no fight.
I think it'd be
that's what I'd worry about, the fight.
Do you know, the more and more I look at the chances we do create, the more and more it's clear to me Harry Kane carried us for the last couple of years,
Of course he did. We know that.
And do you know what? And this actually shows how good Mourinho and Conte were because they knew that without Kane we're fucked. So they played ultra defensive, knowing that was the Achilles heel. I've got to solidify that as long as Kane and Son do their job. And I just shore up the back as much as I can.
Everyone moaned and complained, didn't they? They all moaned and complained.
And that's what people didn't like.
Yeah. Now, and whereas Andrew's come in, he hasn't got Kane, and he's like, fuck it, no one defend. And it's just, we've lost 18 games. We've got to get it back.
18 games is just an embarrassment to lose 18 games in the Premiership.
And it all comes down to whether Andrew was backed or not, right? And whether or not he was backed or not, the ultimate power is for him to say, no, I don't want Richarlison as my striker. No, I don't want you to buy Solanke because you're so wanky. I want a proper striker.
No, I don't want Timo back.
No, I don't. Yeah, exactly. No, I don't want Timo back.
That was
Go
the
and
red
get me a
flag.
proper
Timo
thing.
was the red
and
flag.
instead of him thinking, oh, Perisic, oh, he's a bit old for my system. He was the only person who could cross a ball, like at the time, right? And he's only, you know, and it's the whole thing. No, get me a proper DM, please. I've just sold Højbjerg. I've just sold 2 DMs, right? And you left and you bought me in a £40 million kid that I don't even intend on playing in DM.
Or at least play the kid as the DM for a whole season so we can see what he can do. But we haven't even done that.
Exactly. It's
Pape Sarr was awful yesterday.
What did he do yesterday? What did
Pape
Pape
Sarr
Sarr
was
do?
rubbish. It was rubbish.
I said I think he's the worst. I think he's the worst technical player in the squad. I think Timo Werner's got more technical ability than Pape Sarr. The guy runs and runs and runs, and I'm not knocking him for that because the guy's a proper engine. But when it comes to actual passing ability or vision or breaking the line, he is absolutely dreadful. Like dreadful.
Can we quickly talk about Vicario?
Can I just say to Jimmy? Can I just say to Jimmy that I think Gray's shown everybody this season that we've got a good player there, and I just I doubt he'll get another minute this season.
I feel sorry for him as well. I actually feel for him. The fact that he done a job in virtually every single one of those positions at the back.
Yeah,
and now,
absolutely.
we'll be all right when we get our players back. We're freaking worse now, and he's not even getting a shot.
Can we quickly talk about Vicario? Because I think it was during Christmas time, Iggy and I had a 2-hour argument on the channel about this. And Iggy was saying, and do you know what? He's not here to defend himself tonight, so we'll pick it up again next week. But Iggy's point was that now he's injured, we'll see, and we can't wait for him to come back. And he's kind of right, because we are better with Vicario. However, I stick by what I said back then. I'm worried about him just commanding his box. Brilliant shot stopper. Like, he's an excellent shot stopper. He's probably one of the best in the league when it comes to just last-ditch saves, tips over the bar. He's fantastic. But anything in the air or any kind of set piece, he either flaps at it, he punches it in the wrong place. Like yesterday, he completely missed the ball and the play. He just punched it in air. I don't know where he was going, if I'm honest with you. And all Woods had to do was get the ball on target, and it went into an empty net. Where are you guys at with Vicario? Like, realistically, if Spurs want to go places, is Vicario the goalie for us or not?
Yes, I think so. I think he's probably been our best player this season by some way, to be honest. And I think if you actually had a good manager and a good set of coaches that know how to organise, I don't think he's making that rash and coming out and trying to punch it, because he'll have faith in his defenders that are actually going to win a header. I feel like under Andrew, and you could say with Vicario, you could say with Romero, you could say with Maddison, I feel like everybody is trying to do 2 or 3 different roles, and it's just causing chaos. So that punch where he come out and missed it, it's not the first time. Whereas if Romero or Van der Ven, who for me, Van der Ven in the air is again absolutely shocking. If any of them take charge and be like, right, this is my area, my ball, a call, I don't think he even bothers trying to come. I mean, Hugo Lloris was the same, and Poch had him stand on his line most of the time. So for me, I think it's the same with playing out with his feet. If he ain't great at playing out with his feet, stop making him play out with his feet. Play the way he's good at playing.
James, right, okay. Guys, 1 minute. I get it. If you're not good with your feet, maybe get the centre-back to start the playing out from the back. Right? That bit I get. But every goalie has got to be able to command the box and deal with set pieces. There comes a time and a place where every goalie in a game has got to come and claim that ball. And he hasn't proven himself. He hasn't. We can't change the whole way we deal with set pieces just because of Vicario, because there's going to be a time where the defenders need the help of the goalie, because the goalie's advantage is he can use his hands. And that extra meter and a half, or was it 2 feet? I don't know. That extra length is your advantage if you're jumping up for a ball. And if you can't even get the ball, or catch it right or punch it right, it's a problem, no?
No, yeah, I completely agree, but I do think that there are other aspects to it. I mean, how many different centre back pairings have we had this season? Archie Gray Danzo, Archie Gray Davis, Davis Vicario, Davis Romero, Romero Van der Ven. There's been so many. I think Spencer's played centre back as well. So for me, when it comes to, I think you can do that with a front three and maybe even a midfield. But I mean, I'm a bit old school with Mourinho's and Conte's. Once you put your back line of four, you work on that four. Nothing changes. It's the same. Whereas I think everything has been chopped and changed and just turned to chaos at the back, sitting the defenders into their half. I just think it's been mental.
I think Vicario's a bit weak, and he's a bit flimsy. He's a bit weak, isn't he? He's not. He hasn't got that muscular.
Phil, what do you judge a centre forward on?
Goal scored.
So what do you judge a goalkeeper on?
I get it. How many clean sheets but that's not all on him, though, is it?
No. Shot stopping. He has faced more shots that I think than any other goalkeeper this season in the Premier League, and he missed 3 months. Where would we be without Vicario if we had a lesser goalkeeper? We'd probably be down with the bottom 3.
Yeah, but you see, we've got to be careful with this, because then by that metrics, Johnson's brilliant because he's scored the most goals at the club. But yet we know he's not.
No, but I think this is where I'm saying it's about the tactics, formation, and the way we play. Because for me, Brendan Johnson's probably our best striker at the club. I'd play him up front.
When has Vicario ever given you confidence coming off his line for a set piece? This is what I'm asking, guys. This is what I'm asking.
Before, from coming back after the broken ankle, I think he had, between then and last week against Wolves, I thought he was coming out. I thought he was coming out taking crosses much better than at any stage that I've seen him in the last 2 seasons.
He's cost us in both games.
Before Wolves. The Wolves and Forest, he's given away goals, but these are the first goals that he's actually, you can turn around and say, keeper's fault.
Through his fault.
That's right. He hasn't been, you look at Onana who gives away goal after goal after goal with bad goalkeeping.
No, Onana's a clown. He's an absolute clown. I'm not. Vicarious levels above Onana. I'm not even.
Raya's been at fault for 6 goals this season. I think I've been told by Arsenal fans.
Yeah, but Raya's far better commanding his box than what Vicario is.
But for me, these are the first goals that you can hold Vicario responsible for.
I think Vicario is suffering the same as every other player on the pitch. They're not being defensively, not being coached. I don't even think we've got a goalkeeping coach.
We don't have a striker coach.
He's doing the same. He's doing the same things as what he was doing before. So yeah, there you go.
I do agree that a good defence gives the goalie a bit more confidence as well. I think
there's certain players in the squad.
There's no one in that defence that can head a ball either, properly.
No, and I also think there's certain players that, for me, I know it's so stupid to say, and even as I say it, it's like, well, it doesn't even make sense. But I can't even judge Porro, Vicario, Udogie, people like that, because they're playing in the wrong position. How do you judge people like this when you've got your wing backs / wingers playing centre forward? You've got your goalkeeper playing in goal when you've got 1 defender, maybe 2. It's just suicide. The sooner Ange leaves and we actually get somebody in that can coach a proper team, bring his coaches in. I mean, I know Ryan Mason quite well, but he has to go for a change-up. You can't just keep relying on people that have stayed there for 10 years and just being like, oh, yeah, no, you'll do.
Can I show you something about Ryan Mason, by the way? I've just realised it. Maz owes me an apology. When we signed Van der Ven, I did a video saying pros and cons. And one of the cons I said, he's a bit dodgy in the air. And then after Van der Ven start to the season, Maz said to me, you see, he is good. And I had to apologise. Do you know what? I've been proven right.
Last year.
I've been proven right on this. He is
waiting 2 years to be proven right.
Yeah. And do you know what? Where's my apology? Don't worry about it. I'll let you off.
He's our best. Look, everyone's regressed. Everyone, even BBB's regressed. Everyone has regressed.
This is a video.
It won't be long. If Ange stays, next year, Bergvall will regress, Gray will regress,
And stays next
everyone
year
else.
will be relegation, mate.
And Spence maybe. They're the only three that haven't. Spence,
Well,
Gray, and Berg.
Gray's going to regress because he's not getting game time. Without game time, you can't improve.
He'll
You
get
know
game
what?
time. Still, he'll get game time next season under a new manager. Ange is gone. He's finished.
Yeah, the assumption is if Ange stays, right? That's what we were saying. If Ange stays, they're all going
Ange will not stay. Ange is gone.
If Ange stays, can we
If
just
he
fold
wins the
club?
Europa, he's going to
Can we
stay,
just
guys.
fold the
Will
club?
not stay. He will not stay.
Listen,
saying.
we'll get into it. Listen, we'll get into it. I just
Yeah.
want to show you because James mentioned about Mason. I'm going to show you a video, okay? And then I just want to tell you what I think on it as a coach. And I'm the same qualification as Mason, UEFA, right? Okay, all right, let's play it.
Don't look. That's the goal. Don't move. These lines here never move. That 6-yard box doesn't move. I need to know as a midfielder, as a wide player, giving the ball out. That's my pitch geography. Play there. Bam. Don't even look. Bam. Every time. The corner of that box. That's your target. 4 yards. Little burst. Bam. Yes. Yes, Becky. Yes. Perfect.
And now
Play
we
it
know,
there.
guys. Now
Play
we
it
know
there.
why we never do any other moves.
Play it there. Don't even look. Don't even look. Can I just tell you something? All right. He's right when he says the goal's not going to move. The 6-yard box isn't going to move.
The
The only thing that's going to move the players and the ball. Just don't even look. Put the ball there. Put the ball there. What if there's no Spurs player there and you haven't looked?
No
What
one
if
asked
the
that
goalie-
question.
What if the goalie's come out and as you're about to cross, there's an open goal and you can just side foot it in?
No, but
Don't
no one
play it
asked
then.
that question. No one said in that video,
play it.
boss, what happens if no one's there?
Do you know, right? When you go on your coaching course and you when you do drills like that, no, not that one, but you're there with the players, right? They do you know what? I can't believe how shocking this is. They say to you,
look up.
try and make the practice as game relevant as possible. How realistic can you replicate a match day scenario so that you're trying to program those patterns and hence patterns of play? And one thing they say to you is no one given moment is exactly the same as the other. There's a lot of similarity, but no one pass, one shot, one foul is exactly the same as another one. Yet we're trying to do the exact same move when the positioning of the opposition and the positioning of our players will never be the exact same. I don't understand how he's coaching at Spurs, the first team, man. Don't look. James, imagine your boy. Is he in academy? I know he was in an academy.
Norwich, yeah.
Do they tell him to make passes without looking?
No. No.
Can you ask them at Norwich what they think of that? I'd love to know because Maz sent that earlier and I ran it past some coaches I know and they were just, why would you not look? I get the ball there. Listen,
I actually asked him about that. I asked him about that. I actually asked him about that and I said...
Who did you ask, sorry?
Mason. So I actually asked Mason about that.
that.
Yeah, I went to school with him. I grew up with him
So
for like...
you're the reason why we're...
You're the mole.
No.
You're the mole.
I'll take it. But I actually said to him, well, he's not allowed to talk to me about football. So I have a friend that's his best mate, basically, that I talk to. And he was saying, there's a few things that I've asked him about. And he said that they don't actually work on anything tactical. It's all based like that around positions in the game. So if they get the ball out wide, what should they be doing? There's no, he should be here, he should be arriving back post. It's all my style of play and how we want to be ending the attacks, which is why I personally think Brennan Johnson suits what they want to do. He's been told by Ange, this is how I want to do, this is how I want to score my goals. What I was told is Dominic Solanke, even though he's a striker, he's been asked to play like a cam role, and the two forwards are meant to be kind of attacking the back post and scoring all the goals. But yeah, I don't get it at all. But again, I was also told that most of the coaches don't want to be there on the range either. It's not just the players; it's the coaches that don't want to be there.
I know that as well. You know what's funny is any player when you coach them, any
So
player.
you're the mole then.
So the coaches don't want to be there. So the players don't want to be there. The coaches don't want to be there. Ange now
the
doesn't
fans don't
want
want to be there.
The fans don't want to be there.
Levy's loving it.
Because like when you coach a player, any age, by the way, any age, and I always use Frank Lampard as an example because he was like phenomenal at it. You always check to see what's going on because one, you got to know where you are on the pitch. Two, you got to know where your team are. Three, you got to know where the opposition are. And four, you just got to know the geography of the pitch, what's going on. So there's you're constantly checking. Like I had a video of Lampard once playing midfield. He must have checked side to side behind his shoulders maybe 16 times in a minute, constantly aware of what's going on. To be trained to make that pass constantly without looking is nuts. It's to me, there's nothing about it that makes any sense. Because what you're doing there is you're hoping all the pieces from both teams are in the exact same position you need them to be for that to work. But if one thing's out of sync, that pass doesn't work now.
Yeah, but still, the thing is as well is we don't even need to like rationalize it or think about it logically. We've seen it with our eyes that it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Or
one in 10 work. One in
10 work, right? And
yeah,
when he first implemented it, that was all the goals we were scoring, tap-ins, if you recall, or certainly last season. This season, that's all but stopped. Now, why has that stopped? Because teams have adapted to the way we attack. And what's been sad about this whole saga is that we actually haven't adapted our attacking plays.
Other teams have worked out. Other teams have worked out, Maz, to put a defender, on the corner of the penalty area.
You know what I think it is that I believe. I mean, one of the reasons that we left Tottenham, like my boy was lucky enough again to play for Tottenham. And one of the reasons we left is because they were being coached by the academy kids. There was no coaching involved. I mean, I've been told it's changed now. It was literally the under like 15s, 17s, 19s. They were doing the coaching for the young kids. That was one of the reasons we left.
When was this? How long ago was that, James?
3 years, maybe 3 years.
Yeah, because we had what's his face as the academy director, McDermott's number 2, who was just out of his depth, and the academy fell apart. And
but
then
it was all basically. I mean,
Simon Davies now is top. We've actually got a top.
Yeah. That's what I've been told. Yeah, but we'd get there, and it was all very much like moral. So it's like, right, you weren't allowed to wear your boots in the training centre. There was the things like that. You weren't allowed to do that. It was bits and pieces. Like the parents weren't allowed to go past the door. They had to drop the kids off, and it was.
I agree with that.
So do I. Yeah. And there's certain bits and pieces like that were good, but then when they got in the dome, they'd be standing around for 20 minutes. I mean, my son was an attacking midfielder, striker, winger, and they'd be putting him in goal. And you're like, mate, the kid's the smallest kid that there is on the pitch, and you've put him in goal. It doesn't make sense. And even then, it was all just drills. There was no real style. They used to just say to him, right, just pass. And one of the things my boy's good at is he's really good on the ball and he's quick. So they kind of took all of his strengths away and was like, okay, this isn't working, because they wanted him to fit a system. And I can only imagine, well, hopefully, like you said, the youth has changed, but the first team, they're doing exactly the same.
10 years ago, your boy would have been laughing because all they wanted was dribblers.
Yeah, exactly. But I think every team in the Premier League has lost that. I don't think there is any of them anymore.
Yeah.
Ever. I can't remember the last player I saw that took you off your feet and you went up. The last player I probably saw that took me off my feet, it was probably someone like St. Maximum that used to play for Newcastle. Someone like that. Other than that, I can't think of.
Well, Jack Grealish had it before he went to Man City.
Not quite the same though, is it? It's not like what's that quick winger for City? Is he Belgium? Is he Belgium? The guy?
Oh, Savinho.
No, the other one. He was on the bench tonight, I think.
Doku.
Someone like that. Yeah. When was the last time we saw a proper player like Doku that was good on the ball, beats his man, and tries to get you off your feet? Like, it doesn't exist anymore.
It's turned too robotic now, isn't it? Like you have to up and down, played left, played right.
Absolutely. Which is why
Man
I think
City
that
beat
Ange will
Villa.
never work.
Man City beat Villa last kick of the game, 94th minute.
Wow. They've done that a few times.
I want to ask you quickly, guys, about the Europa Cup. So we beat Frankfurt. We're in the semis, and what do you not make of this? So the first leg, look, a lot of fans have bought tickets to go to the final already. I think we're jumping the gun. We're expected to beat Bodo Glimt by 2 or 3-0 because they're missing 2 or 3 key players. Everyone's saying at home they're not good on the road. We should batter them, and then we take a strong lead to Bodo, where that's the difficult bit. Now, if you look at Bodo Glimt, it's freezing conditions. They've got a small stadium. It's
pitch,
got a bit of a Tamworth. Sorry, JP?
They got a plastic pitch, in there.
Yeah, plastic pitch. It's got a bit of a Tamworth vibe about it. It's all set up for a dodgy second leg. Ange has played Bodo Glimt when he was Celtic manager. He lost the first leg 2-0 in Bodo, and then he lost the second leg in Scotland 3-1. So there is history. There is history. But surely we're better.
It's the same manager apparently as well. Still, it's the same manager back then.
Oh, that's
so the manager's going to know how Ange plays, right? So he should be able to set up. But Bodo are quite consistent in the way they play as well. I don't know how much they're going to adapt. What do you make of this tie? Because everyone's saying we're in the final. Everyone's like, come on, we got this. I think I was arguing with Sava in the WhatsApp group about saying, Sava, everyone's underestimating Bodo. This is where Spurs come up. And I said all season long, I'm worried we're going to play one team that we don't know much about, and they're going to stun us. And it might be this team. But most fans think, no, come on, this is an easy tie. We got this. Where are you guys at? JP, where are you at with this tie? Bodo Glimt, I think most of us would have said we'd prefer that to Lazio. But are we?
Name wise, you'd take it. You'd prefer them to Lazio. I guess Lazio have a lot more history behind them. But these guys are hungry. Like, you've seen some of their results that they've come across. They beat Lazio, right, recently. They were like saying that. Were they 2-0 up? They were 2-0 up, wasn't it? And it went to 2-2, and Lazio literally scored in the last minute to equalise it and take it to extra time and pens. So they're right to push a top class team right up to the end. I don't think it's going to be a pushover in any way whatsoever. We do need to take, in that first leg, it's important that we take a win to their ground though.
And it needs to be a big win.
Didn't we say this about Frankfurt? We got to win 3-0, 2-0 first leg, but we didn't, and we were okay in the end. So
yeah, but I mean, how many times have we played like we did at Frankfurt, and Ange actually went to 5 at the back for once? So I don't know how often that we're going to see that from him. For me, I mean, I read somewhere earlier that they've got their 3 best players out, and their striker, their midfielder, and is it their winger that they've got out? I think it's their 3 best players.
They've got 3 key players out, yeah.
So for me, yeah, you've got to be getting that 3-0 lead at home or something along that sort, and then just literally on that fake grass, just pass the ball around and hit them on the break when they're pushing forward. I think it's so vital that we get the lead and then allow them to come on to us and then us hit them on the break.
Are you guys worried about this game, or do you think are you expecting Bodo to Bodo also had 30 attempts against Lazio at Bodo's ground, so
all depends which Spurs turn up, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah. I've just literally, while you guys were talking, I watched the highlights when Andrew was the manager, when Celtic played Bodo Glimt in the Champions League.
Maz, are you all right, mate? Are you okay? I'm here for you, man. You can't keep doing this self-harming stuff, man. If you want, I'm here for you, bro. You can't keep doing it to yourself, man. What's wrong with you?
He's a true professional. Look, he does his research on the spot, man.
Well, some got I don't know who it was, but big up the person who mentioned it. So I thought, let me go and check it out. And yeah, I'm not confident after watching that. I'm not confident that we're gonna do anything against them.
Still, that's Angelo Post. It's nearly a top 20 now. Can't believe it.
Are you just living on Twitter, Lubo?
I'm not number 7 anymore. It's been flashing. It flashed up. We've now included Fergie, Last Word on Spurs, Ricky Sachs, Alistair Gold, Paul O'Keefe, Spurs Kings TV, Richarlison 97, Rian Teagan, and Flav Bateman are all mongrels. So he's I think he's trying to out hippie now on Twitter.
Flav Bateman's been pro Ange and pro Levy for ages. I don't know how he's on the list.
There you go. Fun and games. It's social media business. We're all
was you saying Bobo Glint looks good then, Maz?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Celtic team at the end of the day. And I'm assuming they've improved since then. So
the goals look quite similar to how we're conceding goals now.
Did they have one centre back?
No, actually, I was observing that the tactics are a bit different. It looks like in terms of their shape and structure, Celtic.
Wow,
but yeah, there is massive gaps as we would expect in an Ange.
I actually
just look at it after this.
I will actually. I actually personally think that we're going to win the cup. To be honest, I think that we're going to do enough to win it, and then I think Andrew will leave with his head facing the floor, saying,
"Winning the Europa."
I think we will. Personally, I think we will.
Can you imagine in the final, right, with the weak players that we have now, them going up against Bilbao?
Or United.
Here's a question. If somehow we reach the final, who would you rather play? Man U or Bilbao? Let's go around quickly. JP, who would you rather play?
Man United.
Man United. Maz?
Purely because we've had them this season, haven't we? A couple of times. But the thing is, they are good at a top game. A one-off game, they've won. They have that winning mentality. So
not Man United would just get in our heads. It's only Tottenham lads, all that stuff.
So you'd rather Bilbao in Bilbao?
Definitely.
Lubo, who would you rather play?
Yeah, I'd rather beat Bilbao, and then I can feel that it's a European final, because it was great going to a Champions League final, but it was Liverpool, wasn't it? I've been to Spurs Wolves as well in the UEFA Cup final. Doesn't feel like
you want a foreign team.
You want a foreign team in the European final, don't you? For sure.
You wouldn't be saying that if it was Arsenal in the final.
Chelsea. I definitely would. I don't want to.
Imagine playing Arsenal and Postecoglou. Oh my god!
I've got to tell you something. How mental would it be? That we finished 17th, Arsenal finished 2nd, and we're the only one of the two to win a European trophy? Wouldn't that be strange?
I will make Stefan cry. I will make him cry on a live show. I would make him cry.
I think if that happens, we should become the biggest Anjin channel.
Yeah, and Levy.
No, not at all.
Biggest Anjin and Levy channel. We'll get old Hippie to come in. All is forgiven, son. Come in to the fold.
I agree with majority here as well. I'd rather face Bilbao. The reason for that is Man United for me are a cup team. They did it against City last season. They did it the season before that. When they are put on the big stage, they just find a way.
Bilbao though, man.
What about you, Stigsy? What about you? Who would you rather play in the final, United or Bilbao?
United.
You'd rather play United?
Yeah, because they're shit this year. Like shit, like we are. Yeah.
Do you know what? That could be one of the worst finals in the history of European football.
What's that?
17th place, 16th.
So that means
Could you imagine?
We have the two worst, the one against Liverpool and the one against United.
Could you imagine a European final of the two worst English sides in the Premier League that never got relegated? Literally 17th versus 16th. Do you know what? The whole of Europe would be a laughing stock. It'd be an embarrassment, wouldn't it?
People are booking their flights already. I went, really?
Could you
I can't
imagine a
believe it.
European final where one side of the stadium is Ange out and the other side is Amorim out? That is proper English banter.
You're
Right
getting,
there. That is
you're
banter,
getting
right?
sacked in the morning is sung by every single person in this crowd. Everybody's singing at the same time.
Oh my god!
Mate,
that'd be-
like I said, I actually genuinely believe we can win it, to be honest. And I hope we do, because I'm on holiday at the same time. So that'd be amazing.
Would you not try and get a ticket, James?
No, I'll be in Rhodes in the sunshine, mate. You can fuck that. I'm not going that way for disappointment.
I'm
Well, you've got your ticket,
disappointment.
So we can't win it then.
No, I think we can, but I wouldn't spend any money on it because I ain't that confident.
Has anybody bought a flight ticket?
No.
No,
Lebo has. Look at Lebo.
I reckon
He's
Ian
got
has,
that
yeah.
guilty face.
So has anybody bought a what?
A flight.
Flight
Ticket.
ticket.
What, for Bilbao?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
I'm disappointed in you, Lubo.
I know people
Price-
that have in
Call
charge.
yourself a real fan.
Crazy.
prices will be going up, Ian.
I booked a hotel in Bilbao and I booked a hotel in Bodo or just outside. But funny enough, for anybody who's got a mad amount of loyalty points who's going to Bodo that's listening, Sports Options are putting on a flight for £549 that goes in, that leaves Luton first thing on the Thursday morning and flies out at midnight.
£550 to go to Bodo. Fucking hell.
It's minus 40 there, you know, right?
It's not. It's between +5 and +15 in May.
Oh, is it right
At
now?
night time, it's pretty close to the +5 though, isn't it? So, I mean,
I've got the hotel in somewhere called Fausk, which is like 45 minutes from the ground, which was the closest I could get. But we'll see. Listen, you could get to the US for that. You're right.
Well, you could probably go to Asia nearly for that. So who's the flight company? EasyJet.
I don't know. Sports Options are doing it. They're running it.
Levy Jet.
Levy Jet.
Well, I suppose they put money on it because they know you all want to go out there, don't they?
The thing I don't understand that it's highly unlikely. I mean, it's going to take a miracle for me to get a ticket on loyalty points. I don't know why the club are only getting 408 tickets, and you've got corporate, you've got for players as well, for families. So the season ticket holders will only probably get 300, 320, 350 if they're lucky. The club should have put the flight on themselves rather than let an outside company do it. So
next year you'll have Levy Airways. Don't worry.
Is it a 2 bob grand then? Must be.
Sorry, is it the what?
A 2 bob grand.
I've no idea.
Must be. You've got 400 tickets. Must be a less.
No, it's sorry,
8,000.
8,720 it holds.
Cross Cultures United holds more than that.
Yeah. Spurs are getting 408 tickets, I think.
Well,
That's why,
Is that
for me,
the
it's
Ar- is it
important
up
that
in the
you
Arctic
win that
Circle
first
somewhere?
game. You've got to win that first game because it just stinks of Tamworth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just stinks of Tamworth. You've got to win that first game before you go out there.
No, but
Thank
what he'll
you.
do, James, he'll have his first team out against Bodo. He didn't against Tamworth, did he?
That's what I'm worried about.
It's a good point. But easy
Sonny will
to
be
drive
back.
to Bilbao. You get
That's
the-
right.
We played better without our first team players. Now we've got them all back. We're playing worse, so that's what I'm worried about.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's absolutely crazy.
Well,
There's going to be a crap team against Liverpool then.
yeah, guys, you know what? This Liverpool game's a bit dodgy because if we go half-hearted, we're going to get battered 7-8-0. It's going to be. I mean, where do you get that? But if you give it a go, you risk firing players and injuries for the European game. So what do we do with that Liverpool game?
Like they could win the league at that game, right?
They will
I
win
don't
the
think
league.
I'm even going to watch it. I think I've decided I'm not going to watch the game.
So they're going to have a party atmosphere, wanting to absolutely blast us. We're going to go there with a shit team.
Well, this is what I'm saying, JP. If we go with a shit team, we could then be on the end of a 7-8-0, right? And where does that leave us as a club? You know, but then if you give it a go, you play a half decent team, you risk injuries, fatigue for the European game. So what do? Do you just throw the white towel for this game and take a massive hit? Or
It's that,
I'll tell you where that leaves
number
us.
19
Still.
knocked up.
That will leave us 17th place,
Yeah.
mate. That's where that will leave us.
we are going to finish 17th this year. We will. It's going to happen.
That's what I
17th
would
and
do.
19
Yes,
plus.
sure. What you want is for Palace to get a draw at Arsenal tomorrow, and then Liverpool just need a point on Sunday to win the league.
Yeah, but they don't go for points, do they? A single point.
In fact,
I think we should just. Can't we forfeit it or just put out the kids? So that's what I would do. I just wouldn't turn up.
It's not Sunday League. It's not Sunday League, James.
Just take a 3-0 loss, right?
Yeah.
Like, run it off, 3-0 loss. Job
Pretend the
done.
bus broke down or something. Just don't turn up.
Oh,
Or send the under 21s. That's what I would do. There's no point travelling all the way out there Sunday and then away for Thursday. It don't make sense to me.
get 5 yellow cards. Sorry, get 5 reds so the game is abandoned.
It's a good idea. Start it, Romero, straight away.
I've got a question
exactly.
about managers. About managers. Everybody says that Ange is the worst person for the amount of games he's lost in one season. What about Gross?
No. This guy is the worst. He's worse than Terry Neal as well. I had 2 years of Terry Neal between Bill Nicholson and Keith Perkins.
Terry Neal.
Neal was crap as well. He was crap as well.
Loads of songs about him. Yeah, proper songs.
This guy's the worst. He is the worst by a mile.
Oh, I thought Gross was bad.
No. Gross is like Guardiola compared to this guy. Jesus.
We are scraping the barrel, aren't we?
I'll tell you, after tonight, I'm going to be number 1 in the Mongols list. That's for sure.
I personally would
Ian,
literally just play the
You need to
under
go off.
21.
You need to delete Twitter, right? You're going to learn the hard way, like I did. Just come off it now. You're getting sucked in. I know what it is.
Terry O'Shea went on Twitter, had a go at him, and said, "Why am I in that list?" He was very upset, Terry.
I like the way you just deflected on it. I've got a question for everyone before we wrap up the show. So, everyone in the chat, I want to know what you think as well. Arne Slot is going to win the league in his first season as Liverpool manager. Right? What a phenomenal start to his managerial career at Liverpool, equaling Man United's number of league title wins, and he's going to be a hero, and Liverpool have a big party. Nuno could get Nottingham Forest into the Champions League with a pretty average squad of players that most of us haven't heard of or maybe wouldn't have taken. So my question is this. If Arne Slot wins the league and Nuno gets Nottingham Forest into the Champions League, who is your manager of the season? Slot or
Nuno, hands down. It's got to be Nuno.
Easy.
It's got to be Nuno for me, because even though he's won the league and no one probably expected it, you could say he always had an outside chance, top 4. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people would have said Forest are going down, or if they survive, it's just about. The guys took them into top 3. And it's not like they've just scraped it at the end. They've been there the whole season. So for me, it's Nuno.
Slot for me. First season, new league. He's come in. He's like nothing's changed at Liverpool. In fact, he's got the fact that they've played so well. I think what was it? They've lost 1 game this season, or is it 2 games? Can't remember. 2 games.
I do think they've been lucky with
a better squad, though, right?
And I do think they've been lucky with how poor. I think ain't Arsenal second on like 60 points or 64 points? Ain't that like one of the least it's been for God knows how long?
Look, Nuno's done brilliant this season.
Arsenal on 66, Liverpool on 79. Forest are only 2 wins away from Arsenal, and they've got a game in hand on Man City. If they win the next game, they go above Man City. Forest.
Yeah, no, I think they've got quite a favourable running as well, Forest.
Mm.
I did look, and they've got
We were
Just
there
so you
on
know-
World Games.
Nottingham Forest have got the third best defence in the league.
Yeah. I think it's got to be, like I said, I don't think the Premier League has been anywhere near what it has been. I'm not taking it away from Slot because he's come in and done it in his first season, and that's amazing. But City are nowhere, United are nowhere, Newcastle and stuff have been hot and cold. I mean,
Just
like
so
we
you
said,
know,
second place is 60
Forest
points.
beat Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did 1-0. Forest beat Liverpool.
Oh.
Nuno is.
Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Man City, and Arsenal have all won the exact same number of games. They've all won 18 games. Liverpool have won 24.
Don't worry, we've lost 18.
How many have lost 18?
Wait, we've lost 18. Oh my god!
Yeah, you'll never
Fucking
sing
hell.
that.
Fucking hell.
You'll never sing that. You'll never sing that.
Do you know we've only lost 2 less games than Ipswich?
Yeah.
That's awful. That's awful.
Ipswich.
We're one step away from relegation. This is how
We really
this
are.
is how bad we've got. And,
We are,
and
we are.
I was
People are still
obviously
cheering him.
catching up
People
with
are
what
still
everyone
cheering
was
him.
saying on the various shows today. And when we're trying to pick some positives out of us losing, and then you look at the league table, there is no positives. There's literally no positives at all. Just one thing. What I was chuckling to myself earlier today is I remember when Ange Postecoglou, when he got asked in the press conference, he says, "I've really taken this team better than we were last year. This year, even though we were doing bad." And you're just thinking, this guy is just fucking mental.
Yeah, but
He's
it's the
trolling
same
us.
as he said. Didn't he
He's
say, this club don't get into semi-finals, and then we've been in
Yeah.
like 14 semi-finals in the last 20 years or something stupid?
It would
It's
have been like the most semi-finals ever.
yeah, found.
What about Eddie Howe? If he gets Newcastle into the Champions League and he's won a trophy,
Yeah.
first one in 65, 70 odd years for Newcastle, is he a contender?
Excellent
I
manager.
think he's like an honourable mention, but for me, I mean, Forest were meant to get
Honourable
relegated.
Honourable mention.
Honourable mention.
He's one of
Yeah.
their first cup in like 70 years or whatever.
That is such a Levy figure there. An honourable
Yeah,
mention.
honourable. But if you look in, for me, I just can't look past Nuno. I think what he's done there has been absolutely amazing. They were meant to get relegated.
They haven't got no stars.
What if Ange wins the Europa Cup and gets Spurs back into the Champions League and ends the trophy drought? Our first European trophy in 40 years.
I'm flip-flopping and in Ange in.
Well,
I would
Maybe that's
still
what we
say
need to
thank
do,
you when there's
hardcore
the
engine.
door.
You know
what do you think, Lee?
on a serious note, what I would do if I was Ange now, and I think it's the only way to get people on his side, is if he comes out now and says, "Boys, thank you very much. I'm leaving at the end of the season. I'm going to do my absolute best to give you your Europa League and win this trophy in my second year. My time's up at the end of the season." Because I think even then, I want him out. But I'd say, you know what, fair play. Let's back him the last 3 games or 4 games and good riddance. I think it's the only way that he wins it. If he keeps going how he's going and pissing everybody off, I just don't. I think he should just come out and say.
No, more to the fact, what would Levy do if he does?
He's gone.
Firing. Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. He's gone.
I think he's
I
gone.
disagree.
My mate
He wins the Europa. There's no way he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
My friend last night, I've known for many years, he seems to think that he's gone already, and we've got a manager in the background ready and waiting.
Yeah, it won't surprise me. He's for me. Levy
Areola.
is seeing all of the so-called Levy lovers, the Abbeys and people like that, all turning on the club now. Expression, big people turning on the club. He knows that if we go through another season of how we're going, it's going to affect them hugely. So for me, Levy knows his time. I mean, no matter how stupid we think he is and whether he does the right thing or not. I think he
The-
knows that this is bad for business to keep him.
There needs to be a wholesale change.
Agreed.
At Spurs. If if Levy's not going to go, which let's be honest, probably is not going to go anytime soon, right? He needs to literally clear the deck of all of the management that he's just put in, right, and bring in Paratici. I really don't want Areola and even Silva. The only manager I would take from the Premier League that I think would sort of keep the fans happy is Glasner.
Absolutely.
That's the only manager. If we don't get him, then I don't want none of the Premier League managers. I'd rather him go and get Xavi.
Why him, Matt? Why him?
Because when you think about the job that Xavi done at Barcelona during their worst ever period, that they were literally bankrupt, right? And they couldn't buy anyone. He had to persuade players to take salary cuts. He had to persuade players to play. That was an awful period for Barcelona, and he I think he won him a cup, and he got him up, done whatever up there, and I just think that's respectable. And the thing is, Dean, you need a manager with gravitas in terms of like who can demand some respect. I just get the feeling that if an Areola or a Silva comes in, they're not going. I don't know whether, certainly at Spurs, whether we would respect him enough, like the players.
So
Because they haven't
Silva, I watch a lot of Fulham, and Silva's not the guy that we think he is. Even Fulham fans ain't head over heels for Silva. They're not like he's the best manager.
I agree. So I mean, when that question got posed earlier in the season, I think I said, "Oh yeah, I'll take Silva over Areola," type thing. But the more I thought about it, the more I was going against my instincts. We need manager that can say no to the board, that has an aura of respect around him, that knows what they want. That you need that manager, whether they're new to the game or not, unknown, right, or not, they're known, right. You need that type of manager, not Ange Postecoglou, because Ange Postecoglou is the biggest ultimate yes man, and he's come in and done everything that the club has told him to do, literally everything. If you remember, everyone was saying, "Oh, if Ange doesn't get his way, he'll walk out." No, not at all. He's done the complete opposite. He's just bent over. Now I'm talking about Postecoglou at the moment. So you need a manager that has gravitas, that can think for themselves and just won't just accept the status quo of what Levy wants to do. Now you could say, "Oh yeah, but Levy will never hire a manager like that." Well, maybe he won't know that they're like that until they come in. Who knows?
I also think that Areola is the wrong fit for the club as well, because even though he doesn't invert the fullbacks, he still plays the extremely high line and pressing from the front, almost similar to what Ange does. Not as bad, but it's the same kind of style. So for me, I want somebody that's so much better tactical. Like you said, I'd be happy with Xavi. Again, I want Glasner. That's who I think even he's free at the back with a wing back. So I just think it's suited for him.
Palace manager.
Yeah.
They haven't lost many games, have they?
And now that he's had 1 year under his belt, he's got them playing really well at the minute.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll do a show on the new manager once Ange leaves, because every week we discuss this manager, that manager. And got a message from Michael, channel member, 9 months. Big up Michael from Poland. Speedway's waiting for all you boys. Embrace your British history and revive this beautiful sport. Who cares about this soccer thing? And that is the state of Spurs fans. That's where we're at, everyone. Thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight. Thank you everyone who watched all the super chats. BSC Radio, Coys87, a user, Michael, channel member, and everyone in the chat. Will be back on I think it's Wednesday or Thursday. Mari's doing North London is ours. and then we'll be doing a watch long and a post match show, the Liverpool game, and we'll be back on Monday. So check all that stuff out, JP.
It is what it is. Let's crack on to the end of the season, right? That train is going. The crash is coming.
All aboard. Maz.
Just want to say thank you to Ange Postecoglou for giving me a title charge this season that he promised me.
Oh yeah, he did say
he
we
could
could
give you a
compete.
trophy in the second year, Maz.
Yeah. And then you'll owe somebody else an apology as well.
I'm not going to give any apologies until you lot apologise to me for all of the shit that I've said for the last 2 years. All right?
I'm not apologising for anything. I told the whole world the day we signed Timo again, red flag, we're in trouble. I told everyone, I warned the world. I tried to save Planet Tottenham, but Planet
I think
Tottenham
I'm
didn't
still
want to take
owed an apology from every Spurs fan in history after what I said about Son, and still waiting for that to happen.
Lubo, any apologies you need from anyone?
No, not really. I don't think so. I don't think so. Listen, we're heading towards 23 league defeats this season, aren't we? We're on the way.
Do you know?
That's a record. I mean, what do you think that will ever be broken?
There's no more room on. There's no room. Where are we going to put them? There's no room on the list. We'll have to.
Well, listen, we've lost 22, so theoretically, so we could lose. We could lose another 5. No, we could lose 29, couldn't we? If we lost every game, if we lost the 5 league games and the 2 Bodo games, we could lose 29 this year.
You know when you're at school
in total.
And you know when you're at school and you run out of paper to write on, in the bottom corner you put PTO, like please turn over.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put PTO on this one and put another 3 or 4 clubs, I reckon.
It's literally going to be everyone home and away.
Who have we got now? Right, Liverpool, we're not going to win. We know that.
West Ham,
Villa. Have we got Villa still?
Yeah.
Villa,
Palace, Brighton.
Alice.
Have we got Villa away?
Yeah, Villa away.
Fuck.
And Villa away.
21.
Villa away will either be, depending on if Villa are in the cup final. If they're in the cup final, we'll play Villa away 1 week before Bilbao if we get there. And if they don't get through at the weekends, then we play Villa on the Sunday before the Wednesday final. If we're there.
Is Nuno a Forest still in the FA Cup?
Yep, yeah, they're playing Man City on Sunday. And Villa have got Palace on Saturday.
Well, this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. I look forward to watching that. James. You're gone, Nubo. Sorry.
Sonny to lift the cup for James, definitely. I mean, that would be brilliant. And then when
Spurs the Europa Cup, we need James on this channel apologising to the world.
And then when
on your knees, apologising, James, if Sonny lifts the Europa Cup.
There was a photo shoot after the League Cup. You could go and have a picture taken with the cup. And if we win it, I want James to come up with his son. I want Spurs to arrange that James and his son are pictured with Sonny holding the Europa League.
What we'll do, Ian, we'll put it on
Sava with Archie Gray.
We'll get a big sign. We'll get a big sign. I'll stand on the little ledge with a cockerel, big banner over arm. Sorry, son. With a trophy, fireworks going off. Yeah, nah. Listen, like I've always said, Son's one of the best players I've seen play for Tottenham. If
you see Sonny coming towards you, hi James, what are you going to say? Sling your hook, that's a career. Is that what you're going to say to me?
Have we won the cup yet, or have we lost it?
Maz has to take one with Brennan Johnson, and I'll take one with Timo. I'll take one with.
And then Iggy can have one with Richarlison.
You know what?
No, I'd like to get Savile with Ange. I'd like to get Savile with Ange, definitely.
Savile, Ange in the trophy. Anyhow,
I'll join him for that one.
He's involved in any kind of situation that wins the Europa. Do you know how deep in the mud I am?
Didn't he score the winner in the Champions League?
No. Mate,
No, that was
the
I
night.
haven't.
The night that
Oh.
we win, we're going to be the biggest Angin. We're going to be like, we told you who wins in his second season. We'll flip it. You know, secret
Yeah.
Angin all along.
Yeah, I'm going to say you're all cunts. I told you cunts. You're a bunch of cunts.
Yeah.
No,
Just shut
and
the channel down. I'll put everything on temporarily off, and then just do one video and be like, "Oh, well, I'd never said that."
James, I can see Sava's watching. Sava would have to bring Matt on as co-host if Ange wins the Europa League.
Matty K.
No, Matt. There's someone different.
Who's Matt? Oh, the guy that calls into his show.
Yeah.
Yeah, every day. Like I said, I hope that we do win it. I think we've got a chance to win it. I think we should win it as well from the teams that are left in it. I think Bilbao are okay. I think if you're going man for man, I think we've probably got a better squad. And I'm hoping that the players actually perform for themselves, not the manager, because that's what I think they did against Frankfurt. I don't think any part of that was down to Ange. I think that was the players taking responsibility for themselves for once.
No.
Last game of the season is Brighton at home. 4 days after the Europa League final. Just imagine the toxic atmosphere at the Tottenham at the stadium if Spurs get to the Europa League final and lose. Do you know what? In fact, do you know something? You know the last game of the season, they do the lap of honour and everyone claps. It will be the walk of shame. We'd all turn up for the walk of shame if we win nothing. And let's see what happens. Dino,
what if we win it then? What happens if we actually win it then? Surely that's that. Who's going to put out for that?
It'll be a massive fucking party. That's what.
But then, are we going to turn up for Brighton, or is it just going to be kids going out there? Because surely their players are going to be
drunk.
Well, it's Wednesday and Sunday, isn't it? So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's going to be Jack Grealish's everywhere.
I mean, I was there when we won it last time. You was there, Lubo, weren't you, when we won it last time? Because I was there.
I don't think anyone will care. If we win a European trophy, I don't think any fan will care. It'll be a massive, massive party. It'll be brilliant. Fantastic.
This is the longest end to the show ever.
I remember being in the Park Lane that night.
The dreaming phase.
Yeah, when we win the Europa. Dino.
James has got us all on the hook now.
Yeah, let's go, boys. We're going to win it.
Yeah, because he knows if we don't win it, he's out the country, so he gets away with it. We have to face the music.
He's sunning himself in Rhodes.
We have to face the music whilst he's on the beach drinking pina coladas.
I'll send you a video.
No, we'll have to get Perchy to do an AI picture of you with Sonny with a cup, James. Definitely.
I'll take that. Listen, if we win it, I'll privately message Sonny myself.
Yeah, text your mate who knows Ryan Mason to message
his number,
Sonny.
Please tell him I said sorry.
Get him to send in a voice note. Oh, it's Ryan Mason.
Right.
Just pass the ball without looking. Just do it without looking.
6 yard box doesn't move.
The goal doesn't move anywhere.
This is what supporting Spurs does, doesn't it?
I know, we've got no brain cells left. Dino, you go on. You can have the final say before we wrap it up.
I just want the season to finish the league games as quick as possible, really, and then have a restart next year. Obviously, I'd like us to win the UEFA Cup. I'd love to win it again for the second time in my time. But I just hope that he can play the right tactics, basically, to try and win it and not go gun-ho all the time. I don't know what's going to happen. If we win, is it going to be kept on or whatever? I don't know. I just want to be invigorated again, if that's the right word. You know, and that takes a lot for me to be disillusioned, but I am disillusioned at the minute. Yeah.
Do you think that if we win the Europa, that Ange will be the first person to get a statue outside the stadium?
Nah.
Imagine.
And the little plaque at the bottom, always winning my second season.
It's
The
who
thing
we
is,
are, mate.
is the statue going to be looking at the floor?
Yeah, looking down.
It'd just be a man with his hands in his pockets, just
Staring at the floor.
Looking at the
tourists that don't know Spurs will come and think, is that the caretaker? Is that the janitor?
I mean, I remember when we won it before.
Just put a broom.
I mean, it was
Just get rid of him.
unbelievable.
Just get rid of him.
When we won it before at White Hart Lane that night against Anderlecht, the scenes. I mean, I was there, so it was a bit like the 81 replay that I went to both those, the first game and the second game. I'll never forget that night. Lubo will probably be tell you the same. Is that I'll never forget that night in my days, and I watched that cup final replay different times, and it still gives me goosebumps now watching it.
So one of my three best matches with Spurs. That was fantastic. I mean, it was a brilliant game, wasn't it?
Oh, and that little dink from Glenn Hoddle over the top. I just wish we had him playing for us now on these carpet pitches.
Do you remember the pass Hoddle put through for Crooks in the replay at Highbury when we beat Wolves?
Yes, I was there as well.
Just mental.
Here's the problem. Say to people,
Different levels.
You get these. I remember in '63 when Gilzine got the ball and we're sitting there like, just say goodnight. Please say goodnight.
Yeah, you guys are like 40 years older than me. Like, yeah, no.
Well,
Tottenham gold.
I'm only joking, guys. You keep talking. I'm just winding you up. It's all right.
You killed it now.
I'm not telling you off.
James, it's things that you, as Lou, I'll tell you as well as I will, is that we were young blokes, like probably younger than what you are now, and you never forget them. Never.
I've seen a League Cup.
Well, yeah.
I think the 1991 FA Cup semi-final at Wembley when they first opened up Wembley. I think that's the best game I've ever been to for Spurs. I think that's the best experience I've ever had.
Yeah, that was good as well. Very good.
Oh mate, I'm 13 years old. I was freaking buzzing.
I'd just love to experience that. Obviously, growing up and stuff. Like, if we got to the Europa and actually won it, like, I would actually sit there with my son and actually watch us win a trophy. You know, like, that's mega. That's just what dreams are made of.
How old's your boy, Jane?
Do it
11
on a regular basis.
Does he understand? Does he get it?
Yeah, well, he does. Yeah, because he got up and walked out after 60 minutes yesterday. I swear to you.
Out of my PlayStation.
Yeah, no, I swear to you, his bed's like they have to like. TVs and stuff are off at 8:30, so you always get the I'll come and watch football with you then because it means I can stay up later. Honestly, got 60 minutes in, he went, I'm too tired to watch this, and got up and left. I was like, yeah, don't blame me.
Yeah.
Listen, James, moments like that are brilliant. All my son's seen is the League Cup final against Chelsea in 08, and he was just turned 8 years old. So he's been in Europe with me. He's been all around the country with me. So for him, just to have that moment with him would be brilliant.
That's
how old's your boy, Lubo?
25.
Oh, he's a man.
25. Yeah, he just So he missed he missed 99 and 91 then.
Yeah.
So Lubo, if we got to the final, would you have enough points to get a ticket?
Yeah. Yeah, Spurs will get 20,000 tickets, I think, if they get to the final. Yeah. It's 53,000 seats a stadium.
Ain't big enough, is it?
So each club will get 20,000 roughly, and there'll be 13,000 for corporate.
The Champions League final in 2019, I was in the Philippines getting married, and I watched it on YouTube out there in the I think it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. And my mate, who I've known for 4 years, obviously I've told you before, he went to Madrid without a ticket and his son. And he just had some inheritance money come through and he paid £1,000 each for a ticket.
Fuck that.
He paid £2,000 for 2 tickets.
Fuck that.
And we're one down in 21 seconds, or penalty in 21 seconds.
I got offered 2 tickets for $5,000 and I said no.
No.
I'd never pay that kind of money for a ticket for football.
I think I would question it. If Andrew was in charge, I think I'd question a fiver.
Back in 1981, James, when we went to the cup final.
Who's in charge still?
Story.
And nah.
This is a true story. Went to the 1981 cup final, and there was 4 of us. There was one season he got older. God bless him. Now he's in his 80s. Not seen him for many years. He was the only guy that got a ticket because Luba probably remember this. Is if you never had a season ticket, which I didn't in them days, you had to go into a ballot, and anybody could turn up at this certain game. I think it might have been Coventry, if I remember rightly. You turned up, and it was done in letters from A to Z, and depending on what letter you got, depending on whether you got a cup final ticket. Now, me and my mate, who I talked about, and another guy who's now emigrated, we went to 42 games that season back in the old Division 1 days, home and away, and we never got a ticket. We were so pissed off, I can't tell you. But we went, and there was guys on the turnstiles taking money. So a £2.50 standing ticket beyond the goal, we had to pay. We paid £10 to get through the turnstile. There was a bloke taking money, and there was a steward taking money up his shirt on the inner ring, and that's how we got in.
Well, it's changed so much. In '71, which was my first cup final with Spurs, we had to do a project during half term in the February, and my project was a week in Spurs Supporters Club. So I went down to Warmington House. I was 13 and a half. Spent a week there, and there was a postal strike going on then. And they said, so many fans, we can't get tickets out to fans. There's 1 or 2 going spare. Would you like? So I said, thank you very much. It just wouldn't happen these days, would it? It's just so it's changed so much.
Listen, after that, Dean, I've got to wrap it up. Listen, after that wonderful trip down nostalgia lane, everyone talking about £2.50 tickets in the chat. all the youngsters in the chat. What's £2.50? Yeah, we'll be back with Mari. North London is ours, and then on the weekend we'll be back on Sunday for the watch along and the post match show. I'll be on Savage Channel tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Football Heritage. Come check us out at 5 p.m. Ask any questions you like. Other than that, everyone have a good one. Enjoy, and we'll see you soon. Come on, the Spurs. Levy out, Ange out, Mun out, Mason out, James out, Son out, Lubo out, everyone out. Out.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.